Shouting from mountaintop, shouting from
My name's Jay Barneson. In real life, I am a video game programmer, and today I am a herald for the BattleGuard medievalist fantasy improvisation group. I created it about 5 years ago. Started out with just a few friends, and we got together. We made some weapons. I had belonged to some other groups before, and I found that there wasn't any here in the valley, and so we got together, made some weapons, made some costumes, got together, and next thing you know, it started steamrolling from there. I wanted to play more than anything else, and found a whole bunch of people who felt the same way, and were really excited to have the chance to kind of live out a fantasy and just have a really great time, and get some good exercise. For one thing, they're a whole lot easier to simulate. You have the same problem with, if you ever played cops and robbers as a kid. I got you, no you didn't, and these are nice and up close and personal. They're padded weapons. They're easy to create, very inexpensive, and it's a lot more of a physical contact, a lot more adrenaline rush, I guess. I've always been interested in fantasy since, gosh, I don't know, a lot of years. Science fiction and fantasy. And it was just a setting that is always very romantic. I mean, the knight in shining armor, and the Conan the Barbarian sort of guy, and the princess needing to be saved, and all that. It's very romantic, very fun, and really a thing that a lot of people feel the same way. Really want to play that and role play that out and have a good time with it. Well, any contact sport has some danger. I mean, you go play football and you can, in fact, I had an injury very similar a few years ago where I hurt my knee and couldn't walk for a couple of days. But generally speaking, there's no broken bones or anything like that. The swords are padded. People, we're all friends. We try and have a good time together and try not to hurt each other. And very rarely are there any sort of injuries whatsoever, and usually when there are, that's usually a bruise or a twisted ankle or someone not looking where they're going and running into a tree. It is an extremely open organization. Pretty much anyone can show up and participate. If we have any extra weapons lying around, we give them a quick briefing on the rules and say, here you go, have fun. And if they really like it, they stay. That's how our organization grows, and it's been growing like crazy. We started 5 years ago with 6 people, and I don't even know how many names we have, but today we're having a battle with over 50 people battling each other, and it is totally great. This thing is just growing by an incredible margin. As far as what they expect from BattleGuard, that really depends. A lot of people come in and they're expecting it to be something that it's not, and they go home disappointed. I mean, we've got some people that want it as an excuse to hurt other people, and we don't want those kinds of people for obvious reasons. And some others just don't understand what we are, and don't get all that excited about it. As far as what we expect and what those who stay and become a part of it expect, it's a chance to kind of do a little role-playing, to kind of play a fantasy for a day, a chance to get some really good exercise, a chance for fair sportsmanship, and a chance to do something that you can't do in real life. You can't just go out on the street and fight other people with swords and everything, and if you did, you'd liable to get hurt really quick. So it's a really great chance to just live out a fantasy and have a great time, and we just expect everyone to follow the rules and to really become a part of the fantasy. We discourage wearing mundane clothes with jeans and the t-shirt when we're at a battle at an official event. Helps everyone feel part of the fantasy and get a little bit of an illusion for a day. We have battle practices where any clothing is valid. I go there with jeans and t-shirt all the time just for sword practice. It's really pretty open as far as expectations. We just want to have a good time, playing our sport and having a little bit of escapism. Each BattleGuard member, we encourage a unique character. We encourage it to be well developed and with a history and everything. It's not necessary, but it's a little bit distracting. I mean, we're dressing up in these outrageous clothes, and it gets a little distracting when we say, "Hey, Bob, where's Joe and Marge?" And instead, we come up with fantastic names. I'm the Vagabond Dark, and you have some other people. They have different characters who fit in a fantasy environment. You've got knights, elves, warrior princesses, barbarians, Scotsmen, the sorcerers, and the whole 9 yards. And we try and follow the illusion. I mean, we go through and have the history, and we treat each other that way. When I first started this 5 years ago, there was only a few groups. There were several out on the East Coast. I was affiliated with a couple of them. But now, over the last few years, partly due to our influence and partly due to some others, there are groups like this one starting up everywhere. It's really an amazing thing. It's becoming a popular sport, a popular pastime. I don't know what you'd really compare it with, but it's growing. Every state is starting to support at least one and often several groups very similar, and we're starting to communicate with each other. And so you have a group out from Idaho today. We got a group out from Idaho that we didn't know about until a couple months ago, and we're having this combined thing with them, and there's groups out all over, and we just have these big meetings with hundreds of people fighting and laughing and talking and camping out, and just really having a great time. Usually I go with a sword and shield. It's a good old standby, and it's very effective. Recently, though, I've been trying to take on the bow. We've got arrows with big padded heads on them, so they won't go into any eyes, and they lose velocity very quick, have a pretty short range, but they're really fearsome on the battlefield. And if I could learn to hit the side of a barn with one, it's a lot of fun, and it's a very different fighting style. It's a lot of running around and hiding from people and shooting them from the flank and trying to take out pinpoint targets instead of just wading in and wailing on anything that gets in the way.